I feel like nobody prepares you for life with a middle schooler. When the time gets here, they're just like, let them be independent. But honestly, I don't agree with that. I'm about to raise my third middle schooler this upcoming homeschool year. I actually think middle schoolers need a lot of guidance, involvement, and connection with us at this age, even when they push us away. And also, yes, they're growing, but they're still so vulnerable, emotional, influenced, and still trying to figure out who they are. So in this video, I want to talk about preparing your kids for the middle school years without pushing them further away, without rushing them into total independence too early, and why I think staying connected now matters more than ever. Hey guys, it's Vani from Mrs. Mom's Homeschool and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I make videos to help you on your homeschooling journey. And today we are talking middle school. So I have, my youngest child is about to hit middle school in the fall. And so I've been through this 2 times already. I know there's some parents out there who have been there 7 times already, but I do want to share with you everything that I learned about connecting with your kids during these years. My older 2 are in high school level. Actually, my oldest one is in college, and my middle child, he's in high school. And I have a very close bond with both of them because I really protected those middle school years, as hard as they were for one more than the other. So here are my 5 tips on keeping that connection with your middle schooler while allowing them to still grow in a healthy way. Tip number 1, don't confuse independence with emotional maturity. Yes, middle schoolers can make ramen, they can stay home alone, they can do some work independently, and they can navigate technology better than us. But emotionally, they still need tons of guidance, tons of affection, reassurance, and presence. Just because they look older doesn't mean that they're ready to handle adult level pressure already. Tip number 2, protect the connection over correction. This is their age where kids naturally pull back a little bit and they start talking to you less. And if you're always coming at them every time you interact with them by lecturing them, telling them to clean their room, or do this or do that, or have you done your homework, or nagging them all of the time, they're gonna push away from you further. For example, my son just told me the other day that he doesn't come out of his room because every time he sees me, I'm yelling at him about something. So of course I had to correct that and fix that and apologize to him because that made me feel horrible. So you want to prioritize the small moments with your children, whether it be a car ride. My daughter, that was the only time we would talk, was during our car rides, my oldest daughter. And that's a good opportunity for your kids to open up to you. When we get home from co-op, my kids want to open up and talk about their day. That is a perfect time to connect with your kids and hear about their life and what they're going through. You can have late night chats. I know sometimes girls like what I used to call talk time, where we stay up late at night or later at night right before bed, and we just talk about just like random stuff, whatever they want to talk about, and just go with it. And when you're doing this, be non-judgmental about the things that they might be sharing with you, because the moment you correct something they've shared with you, that is the last thing they're going to share with you. So you have to go in these talk times, especially as your kids get older, with a very open mind. And then you go to your room and you pray and cry if you need to. I'm just kidding. Kinda. I mean, it's happened to me before. Watching shows together is a great way to connect. If you're a family that has Netflix or any of those streaming platforms, my favorite time is cuddling up with my kids and watching a show, just me and one of them. Sometimes we'll have snacks, sometimes I'll just rub their head, but this is a time for us to connect with one another. And we don't even have to talk. We're just enjoying a show together, and we may laugh at a certain part and make a comment, but we're still being together. If you have any shared hobbies, this is a great time to do it. My husband will take my son fishing sometimes. I'll cook with my daughter or make slime with her, things that they are actually interested in. Even though sometimes it's hard for us as adults to play and to do things that they want to do, it's really important that we try to make the time and effort to do it. You can still read out loud to them. They still enjoy this at this age. And make sure that when you can have some normal conversations without interrogating them, and keep your questions down to a minimum. Step number 3 is stay fully involved even when they're stepping back from you. You have to be aware of online influences, friendships, their emotions, what they're going through, why they're feeling down, what they're consuming on TV or on their phone, who they're talking to, who they're texting. Not in a controlling way, but in a grounded, parenting way. Step number 4, build independence gradually instead of suddenly. For my oldest son, well, my only son, my middle child, when he started hitting middle school and high school years, I kind of just was like, okay, you're old enough to do this by yourself. Let me focus on the little one. And that was a big mistake. And that's something I'm still trying to overcome in his high school years, is getting back to a point where, to the subjects where he needs me more hands-on, which I should have done when he was younger, instead of forcing him to be independent because I needed some time. So instead of saying, you're in middle school now, you're old enough to handle this, instead teach them. Teach them systems, scaffold responsibility, check in constantly, model organization, and help them recover from mistakes. Middle school should be practicing for adult experiences, not the full adult experience. And step number 5, keep your family culture strong during these seasons. These are the years where outside voices start to get loud. And so this is the time where your family's voice needs to be louder, and that family connection needs to be extremely strong. Protect your family dinners, protect any one-on-one dates that you have with your kids, protect family outings, protect your faith, your traditions, your shared routines, protect your reading together, your conversations together, your togetherness, game nights. The goal isn't to raise a child that detaches early. The goal is raising someone who will eventually launch well because they stayed connected at home first. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I will be leaving more middle school and high school tips on this channel. If you have little learners, I have a whole curriculum store of science that I am excited that I have launched on Teachers Pay Teachers for your preschooler and kindergartners. And I will put the link, ages 4 to 6. I will put the link in the description below so you guys can check that out. And I will see you guys in the next video.